Good morning and welcome back to Universal Studios Hollywood. Today is surprisingly a sunny day here in the theme park and the weather is beautiful. So let's get rolling. Over here at the front of the park, they set up the Nintendo banners once again, but celebrating 1 year of Super Nintendo World. Kind of crazy how fast this year has gone by, but it also has felt like an entire year since the last time I've been at Universal. I think last time was last Thursday or Friday. I don't know why, but as soon as I entered the theme park, it just smells like Costco pizza in here. This is so random to point out, but they might have a new food offering. I'll keep my eyes open. It's nice to see the sun out. It's nice to have everyone back in the park. This rainy weather hasn't been good for the park. It's been so empty, and it definitely scared me away as well. But what's also nice is that the Waterworld show is officially back. The shows have been running very fluently. Look at that, Beetlejuice is out as well.
Memory.
I didn't think Lunar New Year merch would still be around right now. It's February 22nd at the time of this recording, and they still have the food offerings available for Lunar New Year. They still have all the decorations and stuff. Maybe another weekend of this, we'll see. Could even see that Hello Kitty is still here in her Lunar New Year dress. Looks like Power Up Cafe is doing well. The line is right out the door, which is nice. This is a good way to start your Nintendo themed day in the park. You could grab a Power Up Fizz, or you can grab a calzone and start your day and your Nintendo adventure before heading into the land itself downstairs. And I think that's the whole point of all these Nintendo stores before entering the land. It's preparing you to go in. You have Nintendo food offerings over here in the front of the park. You have the Nintendo stores where you can grab like Nintendo t-shirts or your Boo ears or your power-up band, just to prepare you for what's to come downstairs in Super Nintendo World. No doubt that Nintendo has been very, very successful for the theme park, and I wouldn't be surprised if they capitalize on expanding Nintendo properties. We'll see what happens after Epic Universe opens. I think they're highly focused on getting Epic open, as well as the Fast and Furious roller coaster, and we'll see what happens from that point. Every time I come to Universal now, I always want to try something new, whether it be a snack or a food item. And I came over here to the French Marketplace, and I'm gonna try their Nutella and banana crepe. And it looks like they pre-made the crepe itself, the bread, the dough, whatever it's called. And they're preparing it on this stove. They'll throw Nutella and the bananas on top as well. And it looks like they have really good sandwiches here, really good croissant sandwiches. So I think next time I come here, I'm gonna try that. I can't tell if that's ours right there. That looks like the strawberry one. You can see that's on the grill right now. Looks pretty good. Okay, that one didn't look like it was ours. They called out 182. I'm 186. So we do have time. And I guess while we wait for our crepe, I wanted to talk about water refills. So anytime you come to the theme park, I highly recommend bringing like extra water bottles. If you buy like one water bottle, you could get a free refill with it over here at any of the water stands or any of the freestyle machines. Obviously, you can't refill anything else over here, but you can refill water. There you go. Look at that. Fresh water. This is truly my favorite place to eat in Universal. But we got the Nutella and banana crepes, and it looks really, really good. Really small, but it looks good. And it was only $8, so it's a good snack for on a budget. Alright, so let's go for this, I guess. This looks really good. I'm glad they sell crepes over here in French Street. I feel like that's one thing that's been missing for the longest time, and they brought it maybe last year or something. All right, my mouth is watering just looking at this. Let's take a bite. Oh, wow. It's so good. And since we're on French Street, might as well talk about Moulin Rouge. Still closed. Still closed. If you haven't been keeping up with the updates, I'll go over why it's closed very briefly. This is one of the oldest structures that exist here at Universal Studios Hollywood, at least the theme park. And from time to time, old structures need refurbishment. And so that's what's going on right now. No set reopening date. And as of now, the VIP buffet is located inside of Margaritaville, which is ways away from the theme park. But that's only temporary. Now looking at the future side of the Fast and Furious roller coaster. We have a lot of activity, a lot of stuff going on at the far end of the construction site. The mountain is starting to look a lot more flat. And that's good, that's good. It's good to see. I'm glad they're still kind of working on this mountain. I know it's so difficult to do it with all this rain. But they're still hard at work with all of this rain. You can see this crane is actually being utilized right now. We don't really see this in movement too often. But also a lot of the other construction vehicles are moving around. Wow. Oh, it looks like they're putting in another one of those footers into the ground. You can see that. It's kind of hard to see from this angle, but they're carrying rebar into the ground right now. This will be used for one of the coaster footers that support the actual supports. Looking down at the mountain, they do have some of that installed already. You can see this purple marking is where one of the coaster footers are located. They covered it up in dirt for now, but I think once they start building the coaster supports, there will be a more clear footer in front of us. And to give you an idea of what these coaster footers look like, I'm going to zoom on to one of them that are actually being, that have already been constructed. Let's see if I can actually find it. It might be right behind one of these golf carts. But they'll look something like this, but more circular. Okay, now looking at the back half of the project, this is actually new. They're cutting down the trees back here. So this will all be cleared up within the next like 2 or 3 weeks here. And then we'll start seeing some excavating vehicles. The mountain will be excavated. I don't know, they're moving really quick, but the thing that's slowing them down is definitely the rain. If it didn't rain these last 2 weekends, we would have seen a lot more work, probably a lot more coaster footers in, and a lot more visible coaster footers on the side of this mountain. I like how when it rains here in LA, it's only on the weekends, and they're still getting ready for some rain. They still have the tarp on the side of the mountain because we are expecting some rain either Saturday, Sunday, or a few days after this weekend. But as for now, we'll keep a close eye on the project because things can change and shift very, very quickly. Valentine's Day just passed by and I was wondering, are these Valentine's Day decorations? I feel like I've never seen this. Well, it indicates that it's a chocolate shop. So maybe that's what this is. I just haven't noticed it. Right behind this chocolate shop. Oh, it's exit only, but that's where Mel's Diner is located. The plaza reopened this past weekend, and now they are doing a special event in the plaza. And it's set up so beautifully. Look at this. They have some Hollywood signage. They have some nice lights set up. It's looking really, really nice. Maybe one day, when I hit 1 million subscribers, we can rent out the plaza and do our own little celebration. Not celebrating me, but celebrating you, the Dino Squad. And I'll have to obviously invite all of you guys. But we'll see. I have to get a quote on the pricing and stuff. I'm sure it's not cheap to rent out the entire plaza. We're probably talking somewhere in the thousands, which I don't really have. Over here in the Wizarding World, Zonkos is still closed. We have no idea when this is gonna reopen, but I'm very, very hopeful that we'll get an extension to Honeydukes selling butterbeer ice cream, or soft serve specifically. We have butterbeer ice cream in the park already, but not soft serve. Here's a look at it from the inside, and I also noticed they don't sell the pre-made like treats and stuff over here in Honeydukes. That entire display case is gone now. So we'll see what happens. I'm sure they'll bring it back when the extension of the store comes into fruition, or if that's even in play. So we kind of have an idea of what's going on behind this stage. I was on Twitter the other day and I found this account, Universal High, and they posted photos of behind this wall. I don't know how they did that, but they posted photos from behind the wall and they're just redoing the planks on the flooring of the stage. And then over there, it's kind of clear that it's going to be an extension to the lockers. I don't know what happened to the Ford Anglia. I don't know if that's still there, but that's literally the location of where it used to be. And I think what they're going to do with this area is basically what they did in Florida with their new locker system. But I feel like the lockers throughout the entire park need to be changed as well. I feel like they should switch the locker situation. Instead of a biometric scan, instead you can scan your annual pass to unlock your locker. That'll definitely speed things up. I feel like on a ride like this, you don't need to put your phone away or anything like that. So one thing I noticed, and I was here with my friend Jake not too long ago, in Florida, they have little cupboards behind the seats on Forbidden Journey in Florida. In Hollywood, they don't have those cupboards. So at the end of the ride, you'll hear Dumbledore's voice say like, make sure to grab your stowed belongings, something like that. And he's talking about the little cupboards that exist into the seats in Florida. They didn't switch over that media. So it's still implemented into the ride, the attraction, but obviously they don't have that here. And I think the reason they got rid of those little cupboards is just for operations. It makes things a lot quicker to just make everyone put things in the locker instead of a cupboard in the ride, because then let's say people are taking too long, they have to stop the ride. Also look at this, they actually have some structural steel now above what may be the future locker situation. It actually doesn't look that bad. Once they start adding theming to it, I think it'll fit in. It's just very weird and different, and I think that's what I'm just getting used to right now. Whoa, look at this. The entire family is out today. Marge, Lisa, Bart, Homer. I feel like I've never seen this. Or at least I haven't seen it in a long time. Homer taking up the entire picture. I love that. Oh my gosh, what an awesome photo op. Seems to be very popular as well. I think this site kind of amazes me because when I was younger, I used to build haunted houses in my front yard, and my haunted houses would be built, or at least the walls of my haunted house would have like the same type of tarp, and just seeing this much tarp is just incredible. But it's all covered up for obvious reasons. The rain, and they don't want to get the mountain wet and basically undo all the work they did. Just look at this, look how much tarp they have laying on the side of the mountain. Did they really put in the rebar that quickly? I feel like the rebar was right over here and it looks like they already put it into the ground. That was so quick. We looked at it like maybe 20 minutes ago. It's just crazy to me how much this site has changed over the last maybe 2 months. Holy smokes. This helicopter is flying so low to the ground. Wow, wow, wow. But yeah, it's crazy how much this site has changed over the last few months. I mean, not too long ago, we had that Universal City sign right over here. Things have changed so quickly. And by the way, this mountain used to be much higher. The slope was much steeper than what it is now. It was basically like triple the size of what we have here. Anytime I look at this project, I'm always thinking to myself, well, what's next? What's next? So it seems like they cleared up all the old wood and wall flats they had from Holidays in Hell at the very edge of where Holidays in Hell used to be. But they still do have a lot of plywood crates on site. You can see the white tarp over there. That's all plywood. That's all 2x4s, plywood, and all wooden materials. They're not going to start work on Horror Nights until about April, it seems like. That's what Murdy said. So as of now, we're not going to see any Horror Nights construction until April. But I know for a fact, in the old Walking Dead building, they are working on Horror Nights something. Because every time I pass by that building, I just hear active construction. I don't know if they're either like demolishing what used to be there, or they're doing something else, or they're building a Horror Nights set. But I know for sure they're building something inside. There's something going on inside. People also always ask me if we're ever going to get another permanent or a year-round attraction or haunted house at the park, and it's very, very unlikely at this point. However, with Epic Universe on its way, I feel like in their Dark Universal Land, it's very possible for them to have a year-round haunted house in that location. I'm sure they'll have scare actors walking around. I'm sure it's gonna bring out this Horror Nights dark steampunky aesthetic. And so maybe once they see the success with Dark Universe, or if there is success with Dark Universe, they'll look into bringing a similar attraction to this theme park. And we always talk about theme park expansion on the channel. And as of right now, I think the biggest thing that could happen to this theme park is them removing the Mummy Ride, the soundstage behind Transformers, 16, 17, 18, 19, 24, 23, 22. If they remove all of these sound stages and the Revenge of the Mummy Ride, they could easily produce a new land and at least 2 or 3 attractions in this space. And this is without having to relocate the studio tour. Because if you really think about it, 16, 17, 15, I guess they renamed 15. I think that was soundstage 19, the one directly behind Transformers. All of these fall on the right side of the studio tour, so they won't have to relocate the studio tour at all. And it's a lot of space. It's a lot of space. They just built a bunch of new sound stages. They could get rid of a bunch of sound stages. That little alley over there, that's known as Sitcom Alley, but most of their sitcoms have been filming in Soundstage 14 and those sound stages behind Nintendo World. And I think as of now, it's not realistic to relocate the studio tour unless they do major demolishing. And I don't think they're gonna wanna do that. They're building a new permanent snack stand at the bottom of the studio tour. They just refreshed the mural, the entrance of the studio tour. So it's unlikely that they'll relocate the studio tour. But if they wanted to look into expansion, this is what has to be done. And that will wrap up our video here at Universal Studios Hollywood. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to leave a like. I'm JP, and how they say in the movies, that's a wrap. I'll see you guys in the next one.